indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
First order of business is citizens' time. We have one person, Ms. Linda Myers, who is asked to speak. Ms. Myers?
Yes, good evening. I'm questioning merit raises. I would like to know if you have approved merit raises for employees in Wythe County. Did that happen or not?
Well, would you explain that?
As part of the budget this year, the department heads every year, everybody, Board of Supervisors employees are evaluated by the department heads, recommendations made to the personnel committee people to receive merit raises besides the standard cost of living raise. There was a group of individuals recommended for that this year. The board did approve that as part of the budget process.
Okay, so are they one-time bonuses, or is that an increase in pay over and above the 3%?
That is an increase in pay, a step increase on the salary scale plan that is on the, I believe it's on the website, our salary scale, pay scale.
Okay, and this affected 17 employees?
I'll have to get that number. I can't recall it right off the top of my head, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. And also, the percentage increase, well, you're here, 2.7% was your increase over and above the 3%?
2.75.
2.75,
That
okay.
is the standard step increase for all county employees.
Okay, and that's on the website, but it wasn't published in the budget that you voted on? It was included in this budget? The merit raises were included in this budget?
It's under salaries, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that where it would show up at?
Yes.
Well, we were all talking, and the public assumed that it was all 3%. We didn't see merit raises, and the line items that say bonuses was 0 for all departments. So there was a little bit of confusion about that. Okay. Well, the problem is merit raises. We were here in February. We thought we had, or the public, Wythe County residents, taxpayers, thought we had sent a message in February concerning raises. Wythe County residents all thought that everyone got 3%. We had no knowledge of merit raises. That was never brought up at a public meeting that I ever remember going to, and we're really, truly disappointed that you disregarded the wishes of the public. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Actually, Ms. Myers, during the budget presentation, the sheriff asked for 5% raises for all sheriff's department employees, which was addressed at the budget meeting. He also requested some of the grant positions that were less than the comboard position be raised to the comboard positions, which raised 10 to 15%. And that was all discussed and part of that budget process.
in committee or here?
In this meeting, the sheriff made his presentation.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wish to address the board of citizens' time? Robert?
So Robert Walk, 435 Austin Mill Road. My wife came before you at the last meeting concerning our water bill, and she had a business trip, so I got elected to come back before you tonight to ask for a reduction in our water bill, and I promised her I'd be on good behavior. But no, you know, I think all of you are familiar with our situation, and we felt like that we didn't have adequate notification on the water bill about the penalty for not getting it in on time, since we were never given any documentation to where we could go back to see that we were doing it. We hadn't paid the bill. The first thing we got was the water bill, which was sometime after 9/16, and that's when the $1,011 came out, which is $1,000 for the connection fee and $11 for the first month non-user fee. And we felt like that we should not be penalized because we never was given a copy of the contract or whatever we were supposed to sign. We've still not seen any contract, and I've talked to the lady at the water department as well as Kenny Hurst. And both of them told us there was nothing that we could do, that she was aware of it when she signed it, but I tried to explain to her, to Kenny and the lady, that we were never given a copy of that contract, or I've never even seen a piece of paper, so I didn't know when the $350 was due. If it had been, we would have been paid it, and I sure wouldn't be here tonight in front of you. And but since we are trying to get a reduction back to the $350 that we feel like we have to pay because we were told we had to hook on to the water, and we would like to have it reduced from $1,000 back to $350, the connection fee.
Anybody from the water committee have any comment on that?
I was gonna say, I mean, it sounds to me like it's we haven't discussed it in the water committee. Don't know why.
Well, the last one was canceled. Or what didn't have a water committee according to the calendar, you know, it was on the calendar.
Actually, I think we had it, we just had to have it a different day.
Okay.
Sorry about that, Robert. I went out of town was the reason.
We would have been there at the water committee meeting, and the next one's not till after this meeting, so.
Well, I'll refer that to the water committee for your consideration.
And so we'll notify Mr. Walker personally when that meeting is, so that you're right.
Robert, have you paid already or not? Because I was in the impression that your wife said she was gonna go pay it. I was gonna say, if they did sign it.
Well, she went in to pay Kenny, but he said you had to pay the $1,000 or the $1,011, you couldn't pay the $350, you know, so.
Okay.
And it's one of them deals where, you know, me and her felt like if we paid it, we wouldn't get it back. If we don't pay it, then it's reduced, you know, we can pay the $350. If not, we will have to pay it later on, you know.
Well, she also said, I think that she said that you all got one bill that had zero on it.
We did, right here, it said current charges as 9/13, or 9, sorry about that. On 9/16, or 9/13, the previous balance was zero. And then the bill said current charges on 9/16 is $1,011, and that's why we were confused. According to Kenny and the lady at the water department, once she signed that bill, we were liable then for the $350. But they said it doesn't come out on a bill, and we were waiting for a water bill, you know, for the $350 on it, and we never got anything until we got this first bill, and it was $1,011, and it was very confusing to us, and we never got too far in trying to explain it to people. We felt like that we should have gotten something up front, and the gentleman that had her sign the letter was supposed to come back to her after he measured the distance, and he didn't. And the conversation that I had with Kenny was not about the $350, but about the hardship that it cost several $1,000s, I mean multiple $1,000s to put the water 300 feet up to our house through the solid limestone. God blessed us with limestone and water in our Porter's Crossroads. And to me, it's a whole lot cheaper to dig a new well if something happens to ours than to try to put the county water up there to our house. Just because of the simple fact, I don't know, most of you are familiar with the water line that went into Porter's Crossroads. They get limestone rock, and it was very hard. Well, they never did get a line under to my driveway to put the line in. They had to go up the road to the neighbor's property about 150 feet and then come back down through his property to even get the water meter on my property. They bucked the road right there in where I turn in my driveway, so every day I go across that little hump going in and when I come out, and it reminds me of that water that's covered over with dirt and grass that I'm never going to use. So.
And we have access to a copy of that. I mean,
We do. The bill, I think that's all Robert's got in, Robert.
Mm-hmm. Just the first water bill that was sent in.
The water committee will review it, let you know when they meet, so you can be there. She can be there whenever.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to address the board? Hearing none, I'll close citizens' time. Next item is payment of invoices.
Mr. Chairman, I move we pay the invoices as presented.
Moved and seconded, any discussion?
Yes. University of Maryland. Enforcement and traffic maintenance service contract. University of Maryland? Page 10. Well, in the budget, it's page 10. That's the vendor.
If you would like, we'll go over and pull the invoice. If you want to just go by that, we'll come back.
Okay.
It has something to do with the sheriff's department,
I'm sure it does.
This contract they have, some of that will say it's
Some kind of testing on the equipment or something.
On page in the packets on page 424, the electoral board purchases services, for $5,500. What was,
printing the ballot,
what?
printing of the ballot.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Think redistricting for that. We had to have 2 different ballots in the Spiegel district.
All right, we'll wait on the report back before we vote on the invoices. We'll move on to unfinished business. Any other unfinished business, or any unfinished business at any time? Are you working on unfinished business?
I have none, sir.
Okay. Anybody else got any unfinished business? And we'll go to reports. Let's go back to payment of invoice.
Wireless information to the USDA.
Okay. Capital Wireless Information at Smith County Sheriff's Office. They installed the CapWin system, and it's through the University of Maryland. You'd like a copy of it?
Can they see that?
It was a grant from the USDA, Rural Development. After I see it, I can't tell you much more, except for the sheriff's signatures on it.
The purchase order came in under Capital Wireless, and that's, yeah, provided University of Maryland Capital Wireless Information Network is what it is, so.
Oh, okay. Well, I just couldn't figure out what the University of Maryland had to do.
You thought one of us was sending our kids to the University of
That's
Maryland.
right, checking on you.
Well, it wouldn't have been mine.
Nor mine.
I can understand that.
So the check was written to the University of Maryland. All right.
Okay. Now we have a motion and a second to approve the payment of invoice. Any more discussion? We do a roll call vote on it, Martha.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 7-4, none opposed. Now we'll go on down to the report.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, the Building and Grounds Committee met on Tuesday, November the 1st, 2011. I'd like to
request the board to consider the following. To approve change order number 8 of the county office building with the additions to, of the following. Change the direction of door swing at door number 100A, provide a new frame. Connect an overflow roof drain with redirection to the sidewalls with dip spouts. Mechanical changes per CCD number 4. By the way, Mr. Barrett's going to explain this to you a little bit later. At the time, they made sense, but Kid can tell you what those are. Additional square footage for materials are needed by the resilient terrazzo tile and base, and that's to be put in the front hallway lobby area. Also, to add the following weather days to South End's contract for inclement weather, September 5, 6, 20, and 23. This is coming from the audience, but first, Mr. Barrett, would you like to elaborate on what number CCD4 and all that is?
Yeah, change direction of the door swing, they had to, order a new door frame for downstairs for egress purposes on the door downstairs. The overflow roof drains, the architect had to make a change with the contractor on that to route those to coming outside the building. That was not in the original contract, so they've actually come out and go, when the main drains clog up, this provides a place for the overflow water to go out to the side of the building on the little alcove area overhanging at the front of the building. The CCD number 4 was all the changes made to the bottom area, the realignment of all the offices down there, their air handling units, and the HVAC company looked at it, and they had to make revisions to the contract to get the proper air circulation to all of the offices downstairs. And then the additional square footage, we had originally looked at putting the terrazzo tile in. It was one of the recommendations made earlier to make the entranceway and the upstairs area look nicer. And the original change order did not include all the square footage for the downstairs, the upstairs area, and the overflow. So that's the combination of all those change orders. And then the 4 weather days, that Mr. McDaniel mentioned as well.
Thank you, Mr. Barrett.
Any questions? Okay.
Says this change order is not valid until signed by the owner, architect, and contractor. The only one that signed it is the architect. Where's South End on this?
Once we approve it, we submit it to South End for their signature on it at that time.
The owner, until the board approves it, we can change the contract price over time.
Any more discussion? Let's do a roll call vote, Gene.
Aye.
Aye.
7-4, none opposed. Anything else from building and ground?
Dave's ready.
Oh, we were in the month?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had it up on, they didn't get up on the thing, so I just,
So it's also on this contract?
yeah. It wasn't on what I read.
No.
Okay, then we'll move on to new business. That's a hardware grant.
We received $2,000, have an offer for $2,000, $1,000 for computers, speed on $1,000. Beresford?
Max Brothers.
Max Brothers.
Speed.
The board needs to accept that grant and amend and appropriate that to the fire department budget so that we can procure those two.
Are we buying these computers, or the fire department's buying them?
Actually, the way the grant is worded, Gene, it has to come through us.
Well, the reason I asked is I figured that we probably could get a better buying a computer than they could, but I'd make a motion that we accept this grant.
Bend and appropriate that $2,000 to those departments.
Yeah. Sorry. What's well said?
All right. Any discussion? Again, a roll call vote, Mark.
Aye.
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 And aye, 7-4, none opposed. Chantel Cable.
I think the information you have is, they provide you this for information. They seem to be continually evolving as a cable group. Mr. Daniel is the only person here that has that service.
And this just is multiple family, building like apartment building.
Is this the one west of town? How bad is?
In town.
Just past Kmart.
Yeah.
Oh,
Transfer
okay.
station, or the substation over there.
Yes,
No action required here.
just information.
I thought this was gonna make the annual bill go up, I was gonna say I approve.
I don't think you have to worry about it, because they're gonna do it for me about everything.
Okay. West Bland Foundation Fire and Rescue Grant.
The ordinance is accepting $131,550 and amending and appropriate that to the appropriate departments. Money for the fire, the FRA applied for that through Ike's department.
I move we accept the grant and all appropriate places according to Ike's instructions.
Second. Been moved and seconded. Any more discussion?
I have a question, what we've got in our package, is that what he sent to, that's the grant that he wrote and sent to the foundation?
Yeah.
Because, we've never seen anything like that before, and
Well,
I thought that's what it was, but I was just wondering.
what we decided is instead of just sending an acceptance letter, is to include what was in the original application so that we could, you guys could compare.
Yeah, I like that.
Any more discussion? Roll call vote, Gene.
Aye.
Aye.
And aye. Motion passes, 7-4, none opposed. Mount Rogers Planning District Commission, local assessments to locality.
Mr. Chairman, you brought this up at the last meeting.
Yeah.
I did.
We can put this under old business. I've written them a letter. It's basically a little different than what I understood it. I thought we had the option, but it says here.
The motion was an option, but they changed it before they wrote the letter.
So I've written a letter saying that we don't appropriate any money right away. It needs to be on a quarterly basis. But based off the discussions with Mount Rogers, they're gonna send us one bill. We'll probably pay in quarters, and
I think that'll be fine. I'm sure they won't turn it back, turn it down.
Why are they on this?
They're, having to rely on a loan to get by,
Oh, okay.
and,
they've opened a line of credit.
yeah,
And each month, they use that line of credit to do payroll, pay the bills. And when money comes in, they pay off the line of credit. The way I understand it, they told me on the phone was that if they get the money up front, they don't have to have the line of credit. But my comment back to them was that you still gotta manage your money. And if you've only got so much money, if you get it up front and you spend it all, then you're in worse financial shape later on. So instead
during the discussion, I pointed out that this was a very short-term fix to get the money to counties quicker, because then they're not going to have it later on. So we need to get other sources of revenue coming in.
Okay, now we're paying quarterly. Are all the other counties paying quarterly?
No.
How come?
Some of our neighboring counties wanted to pay it up front. So we told them they could, but not make us do it. Put it in layman's language.
So everybody else is paying the whole amount?
No, not everybody.
Oh, okay.
Just a few of the ones that want to be heard at the commission meeting.
Well. Are they the ones getting the loans?
The commission has a line of credit.
Well.
And it goes up and down, so their money is kind of erratic coming in, and some months they have pretty good months, and some months they have real poor months.
So that means we would pay in March, if we pay quarterly.
This goes for next year. We pay, what, 2 quarters.
Well, I think we should just keep doing what we're doing.
Well, that's our intent.
I agree with you, Mark, and I'll pass that along. There's really no action needed here, is it?
No, sir.
Any other new business?
Mr. Chairman, I have something I'd like to say.
How about it?
I don't know whether it comes under new business or what, but I made a campaign promise that I'd do everything I could for kids in the lower end of this county to try to get them some more recreation, keep them more occupied, keep them out of trouble. It's not a funny feeling when you have to go pick a vehicle off the top of one of them. We have Mr. Cody in place. I think he's doing a good job, and I think it's time for him to look into the possibility to see what we need to do for these people in the lower end of this county. They think you're the forgotten ones, but we can do something to show them they're not. If I need to make that a motion, I'll make it a motion.
Anything in particular that you had in mind?
Anything that you can give him better than nothing. I thought he was going down and talk to the fire chief, but the fire chief tells me he hadn't seen him.
But now, Corey, what you're saying is that you recommend or make a motion to Gary Cody look specifically at lower end of the county to see what we can do down there to increase.
What needs to be done.
Are you talking Barron Springs? Well, I will support you on that, but my question is, where are we gonna hold it?
That'll be for Mr. Cody to figure out a place to do. I'm not, you have to build him a building. You know, all they got down there now is that old schoolhouse building. They got sometime this board fixed the pad out there for them to play ball on. Well, it's washed out, the middle of it is. You can't play no ball on that, you can't do nothing, no.
But I'll second Corey's motion. I mean, I think it's, a very reasonable thing to, Mr. Cody's our Director of Recreation. I know that he's doing a lot of different things and stuff to kind of do an evaluation, down there to see what we can do. I know that I see things like the Max Meadows that doing for, more for adults, but,
And rural retreat.
yeah.
Well,
So,
we just started the fall basketball. Of course, they have to go to Jackson to play. But we've got actually, real issue. Matter of fact, I've been corresponding with the superintendent about the issue. During this time of the year, we can't get into the gyms, whether we can schedule games or anything. We have games we've had to postpone, I guess, or reschedule, where we've been bumped for AAU tournaments. But I do know that we had our presentation and met with the foundation, rural development. Gary was here, and one of the things that we discussed at that meeting was that, the Rural Retreat thing, moving it forward, but that model had to be readily duplicated in the eastern end of the county. But if you want to move forward with both of them simultaneously, I think we can do that. But our next step, I think we said at that meeting, is put together some cost estimates on funding applications, how to be funded, how the operational costs, and then bring it back to the board. We did it for that western end, but if you want it duplicated for the eastern end, it can run simultaneously at the same time.
Do I need to change my motion to that?
I don't know.
Well, you know what bothers me about it? These kids get home probably, some of them don't get home 4:30 of the evening. You know, they turn around and come back, and if you're playing a ball game in Whitwell, it's 30 minutes back up here, plus 30 miles. Probably $30 for gas.
I think, I mean, I may be wrong, but I think what Coy's talking about is more doing something small scale just down in Barron Springs than doing something large scale like we was looking at in Rural Creek. Because if we do something large scale like in Rural Creek, we were probably looking more at the Fort Chiswell area or somewhere in that area, and that's not really going to help Barron
Fort
Springs.
Chiswell area is not gonna help kids in Barron Springs now.
Well, but, yeah, and Mr. Cody can go down and see, you know, the big thing is finding, you know, places which he may be able to do through churches or, you know, or anything, you know, from, you know, after school recreation.
It'd be nice if Mr. Cody would go in there and talk to the fire chief or
Kurt Silver.
any, you know, pick him out a crew, a committee or something, and talk that and discuss that and see what it needs to be put, or whatever needs to be put.
I think Gary's done a great job so far, and I think he'll come up with something to do down there that won't bankrupt the county.
Well, and I think he's pretty good meeting with community leaders too.
You're right.
You know, to try to work out, you know, ways to, you know, to do it. So, I mean, I sure don't mind kind of making that, you know,
I'll
the
go
board
with him
sort of
anytime
direct.
he wants to go. Call me on the phone.
Well, you know, you stop and you think, what's this will happen? You go on down 52 and you go. I'm wondering if you wouldn't be better off to go towards Barron Springs for something. I don't know what it's gonna be. It may be a bar.
Well, but that's what I said, you know, there may be some churches down in that.
Yeah,
that will-
churches.
Well,
But I don't think you need anything else in Fort Chiswell.
Not at this time.
Excuse me, but
you know, I don't know about playing ball, but there's other activities besides bouncing the ball.
It could benefit the senior citizens as well as it could the kids.
Well, we have started this, getting ready to start the senior citizen thing over in Ireland. We've met over there. You know, I think you're suggesting me the fire chief. If fire department will allow us in that upper floor of that old firehouse, there's nothing in it. They used to hold dances and stuff in the corner.
You got something in the bottom.
They got
You got something in the
They
bottom.
got some things in the bottom down, but I'm talking about the top floor where they used to have the
Yeah,
dance.
they used to have a dance, didn't they?
That would be a big room, and, I mean, running activities is probably a good thing, and we could probably make that happen pretty easily. But I I agree, meet with the fire chief and see, but we gotta find a place, that's the key thing.
And that's, I mean, that's, I've been impressed with Gary. I mean, most of y'all mentioned the emails. I mean, he's got Christmas decoration things going on in Max Meadows, and the Zumba class, and the aerobics class, and the senior things, and he's meeting with all these. And a floor like that is one of the things that is critical, because he said some of the problems with the aerobics classes and things like that are concrete floors, not the best places to have those. That's why they look for the old wood floors or gymnasium floors or things like that. So he is getting around and trying to do those things and just come up with the different activities for the kids and adults to do. You know, I think Barron Springs is definitely on his radar. I don't know why he's not that opportunity to meet with Kirk, but I know he is. I've been very impressed, and people have told me out in public that, you know, they've met him, and it surprised me that they've run into him, and he's out, you know, making the contacts to get to know these people and facilities. So.
And if I may say, he and I are going tomorrow evening to explore that end of the county and ride around and see anything we can come up with. We're not necessarily talking to anyone, but we are going to explore the eastern end of the county tomorrow
Be
evening.
sure to tell him, call Kirk Crawford.
Okay.
Can I ask, what age group of children are we talking about? Teenagers to 20 or younger ones? Which one?
I would say that somewhere between the age of 5 and 15.
5 and 15? Yeah. These are the kids that the high school sports hadn't picked up yet and so forth, their activities.
Well, there's a lot of them, Mom and Dad can't afford to take them back to Fort Sill to play ball.
Well, there's some kids, in all honesty, that will not play, you know, will not play high school or even middle school athletics.
And Kirk was telling me that the fire department was talking about buying the house and the property on the upper side, or the Pulaski side.
They've been talking there for a long time.
I just feel like it needs to be looked into.
I think
that's kind of what y'all's motion was.
Yeah, in the motion, I thought the motion was to emphasize Mr. Cody going down and looking at that end of the county. I mean, is that what you're?
Yeah, that's what
And I understand that's gonna happen tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, I mean, it's going to begin happening tomorrow, but I mean, at least if we do this, it adds a little, you know, a little oomph to it, yeah.
Yeah, have him report back.
Yeah.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
I may come back next time on 14 swimming pools,
Now, Troy?
25,000 square foot building.
Well, if
The
it
race
rains,
can't ever tell, man.
if it rains down there, you'll have your swimming pool, there'll be mud holes somewhere, won't there?
Well, they got the river down there, but that ain't too smart to be in the river.
Not heated either.
Anything else?
Since Coy brought that up, it made me think of something. When I first got on the board, I was trying to look about getting a walking track in Speedwell, and I kind of have dropped it for the last couple of years, but I did that for a reason. Speedwell School has been working with the hospital grant thing, and they have gotten a grant to put a walking track around the Speedwell School over there. So I told them that, if, you know, when they did it, I told them if they needed any help from us on the grant or whatever, let us know, but evidently they got it all through, so that's some good news that's happening.
Yeah. All right.
Anything else? Board members got any concern? Are we gonna have a groundbreaking for a water line sometime soon?
Groundbreaking for what?
Like, not this coming Thursday, but next Thursday?
Oh, we're gonna have a meeting about
A
one.
meeting of that,
Yeah. Yeah.
not a groundbreaking.
We'll have a community meeting.
Yeah, November 17th, 7 p.m. at Draper Valley Pentecostal Holiness Church.
Actually, it's about the wastewater line down.
Okay.
That's false, man.
I have it on my calendar.
How many of us need to go to that?
Everybody's welcome.
Somebody better go to practice. Somebody better
Well,
come down there.
I told Rhonda Goff that I would not be able to attend. I have another engagement that night to be planned well in advance.
Are they unhappy?
We just finished design, we're getting ready to advertise it, get the
Okay.
information we need about what's required, where the lines will be, et cetera.
And I'm like Gary, I'll be out of town next week, so I won't be there.
Martha, did you go to Representative Ford? I know Maggie's going anyhow, as Vice Chairman.
Where is it? Pentecostal?
Yes.
Fellowship Hall.
Because I'll have to be in Marion that night at District 3. And I'll get you to go to that, and I'd go to this one, but I'm on
Now, wait a minute.
I'm on the personnel committee that has some critical decisions to make. And I won't pack that up on you.
When is it?
17, 7 o'clock.
You won't have to make any speeches, will you?
I'm not making any speeches. I believe I can do it.
I appreciate it.
7 o'clock. Baker Valley.
Anything else? And I'll adjourn this meeting of the Board of Supervisors. Thank everyone for their attendance.